In a world where
In a world where purchasing decisions were dominated by organic, free-range, sustainably raised, locally grown, vegan, cage-free, vegetarian, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, flavor-free.
Okay, I made that last one up. But consumer food product packaging is starting to look like an open lot on election day. One of those sometimes lost in the shuffle is fair trade. If you're not sure what fair trade is, you're not alone. It's a topic that has many consumers confused. In this video, we hope to shed a little light on the topic of fair trade so you can understand the movement and be more informed about your purchasing decisions. But first, we need to start at the beginning and find out exactly what fair trade is. Here at St. Joseph's University, we asked a number of students to tell us in their words what fair trade is.
Fair trade. Oh
God. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I should probably know this for my classes.
Okay, to be fair, we probably caught them off guard. But thankfully, we have a subject matter expert.
My name is John Stanton, and I'm a professor of food marketing at St. Joseph University.
We asked Dr. Stanton, what's the deal with this fair trade?
Not too many years ago, Europeans and Americans were realizing that they were getting coffee and various agricultural products at a lower price because the food companies were buying this stuff from farms where the people working there were really underpaid. In many cases, these people could barely sustain a living while working hours and hours every day. A group of people got together and said, that's not fair. It's not fair that people work so hard and we in the developed countries of the world get to reap the benefits of their hard work and not them.
Fair trade is essentially a movement recognizing that the products we buy and sell are connected to the livelihoods of the farmers and producers providing them. It's a decision to buy from companies who promote fair working conditions and living wages. This effort helps to support responsible companies, empower farmers, workers, and fishermen, and protect the environment. At the very origins of fair trade in the late 1940s, handcrafted goods like sewn and embroidered pieces were the initial types of products being imported after efforts through missionary trips to Central and South America. These goods allowed women to play an otherwise unavailable role in support of the household by providing some means of supplemental income to the family. As the fair trade movement began to gain ground, items like coffee, tea, cocoa, and herbs became popular fair trade offerings. That missionary work developed into a small company called Self-Help Crafts, which eventually became known as 10,000 Villages. Today, we find an even broader mix of goods, including items like spices, sugar, flowers, bananas, citrus fruits, textiles, and even some manufactured goods like clothing and wine. And the focus on gender equity is still providing opportunities to women. They now account for 23% of all fair trade farmers and workers. But how did we get from there to where we are today, with certifications, labels, and standards?
So an organization was put together called FLO, and they said they will certify that certain foods are being farmed and processed where people are getting paid a fair price for their labor and their time. The whole point of fair trade is to go those parts of the world where the economy is really underdeveloped and there's disproportionate income, so that the wealthy people that might own the production companies or the farms, etc., don't don't take advantage of the people, the farmers. We don't have to worry about farmers in Italy. We don't have to worry about farmers in Iowa. But in Costa Rica, in the coffee plantations, we need to be concerned about whether or not they can afford to live on what they get paid so that we in the United States can have cheaper coffee. People that are conscious and aware of the way people live in other parts of the world don't mind paying a small premium for the products that they buy, knowing that somebody is benefiting and someone is having a better living situation than the people that aren't selling. You just have to be prepared to say, I want to help these people and I'm going to pay a little more for this coffee.
Are people willing to pay the premium for fair trade goods? We asked some SJU students to get their opinion.
Probably not. I'd probably still go for the cheaper option. Of course, it depends on my financial standings, whether or not I'd be willing to spend $1 more. Probably, if I were to spend maybe 100%, 75%, that's a different question.
Fair trade certified.
Not significantly, like, you know, maybe 20% more, but I'm not going to pay like double the price just because, you know, in college.
Yeah, if it was going to farmers and benefiting communities and really doing a greater good, that I think would be something I'd be willing to be a part of.
Knowing that many people are willing to pay a small premium to support fair trade, how do we get more visibility and recognition to help grow the movement?
There's good news. The good news is the younger generation, the millennials, the Gen Z, have made it clear that issues like sustainability and feeding the poor, etc., has become more important to them than it did to older generations. And what we will probably see is a slow migration of people buying more and more fair trade, which puts more and more pressure on the people that aren't offering fair trade prices to reconsider and get into that market.
Fair trade is more than simply a label on a package. What drives fair trade is the consumer interest. It's not simply a market, it's a movement, one that's focused on social and environmental change.
It's a very honorable program. It's a program that says it's important for the developed countries to share the wealth in the most simplest of ways. Not to send money to governments for buying buildings or weapons or things like that. It's sending money to families that can support themselves and feel better about themselves, and in the long run, be better citizens in the whole world.
This video has been brought to you by Group 3.
Group 3 Productions. Yeah.
Funding for this video has been provided by no one.